My beloved child, before you scroll away, I need you to hear this with your whole heart. This is not just another message. If these words have found you today, it is because heaven has been trying to get your attention. You have been asking me for a sign, praying for direction, wondering why everything around you suddenly feels different. Now listen carefully. The restlessness in your spirit is not an accident. The doors that closed, the unexpected delays, the feeling that you no longer belong where you are, none of it happened by chance. I allowed it because I am preparing to move you, not simply to another house, not merely to another city, but into a place where the assignment I placed inside you can finally come alive. Stay with me until the end of this message, because what I reveal next may explain everything you have been struggling to understand. Before we continue, write, "I trust your plan, Lord," in the comments as your declaration of faith. Every act of faith creates room for expectation. Now listen closely. For months, perhaps even years, you have tried to make your current environment work. You prayed, you waited, you sacrificed. You believed that if you worked harder, loved harder, or stayed longer, everything would eventually change. But instead, the atmosphere became heavier. The peace slowly disappeared. The excitement you once carried faded into exhaustion. You kept asking yourself, why doesn't this place feel like home anymore? My child, that feeling did not come from confusion. It came from me, because the place that once protected you has completed its assignment. The season that once helped you grow can no longer sustain the person you are becoming. You have outgrown the environment that once fit you perfectly, and whenever that happens, movement becomes necessary. Understand this carefully. I never move my children without purpose. I never remove someone from one place unless I have already prepared another. Before I ask you to release something, I have already prepared something greater. That is why you must stop interpreting every closed door as rejection. Some doors are closing because they are too small for the future I have planned. You keep asking me to bless your current situation, while I am inviting you into a completely new one. The miracle is not behind you, it is ahead of you. Your next home is more than walls and a roof. It is an atmosphere. It is a new beginning. It is the place where your gifts will finally breathe. There are opportunities waiting there that cannot find you where you are standing today. There are relationships prepared for you that cannot connect with you until you arrive. There is peace that cannot settle over your heart until you step into the place I have chosen. Nothing about this relocation is random. Long before you recognized the need to move, I had already gone before you. I have already prepared conversations you have not yet had, favor you have not yet seen, people you have not yet met, doors you do not even know exist. I have been arranging everything quietly while you were wondering why nothing seemed to be happening. You called it delay. I called it preparation. You called it waiting. I called it positioning. You believed nothing was changing. Meanwhile, everything was changing behind the scenes. There were moments when you begged me to remove the discomfort. But if I had made you comfortable, you would never have been willing to leave. Sometimes discomfort is my invitation. Sometimes frustration is my direction. Sometimes the ending you fear becomes the beginning you've prayed for. That is why your spirit has become restless. That is why familiar places suddenly feel unfamiliar. That is why the things that once satisfied you now leave you empty. It is not because I have abandoned you. It is because I am calling you higher. Do not mistake transition for punishment. Transition is often proof that growth has begun. My child, I know moving feels frightening. Leaving what you know has never been easy. Your mind keeps asking questions. What if it doesn't work? What if I make the wrong decision? What if I lose everything? Listen carefully. Faith has never required you to know every detail. Faith only requires you to trust the one who already knows the destination. I can see what you cannot. I know what tomorrow looks like before tomorrow arrives. The place I am leading you toward already carries my peace. It already carries my provision. It already carries my protection. You are not walking toward uncertainty. You are walking toward preparation that heaven completed before you ever recognized the need for it. The greatest mistake you could make right now is holding on to a season that has already ended simply because it feels familiar. Comfort can become a prison when it keeps you from purpose. I refuse to let your calling die inside an environment that can no longer support it, because what I placed inside you is too valuable, too powerful, and too important to remain hidden. There is a gift waiting for you, not a small blessing, not temporary success, but something that will change the direction of your entire life. However, That gift is connected to obedience. It is connected to movement. It is connected to trusting me before you understand everything. And that is exactly where many people stop. They pray for miracles, but refuse to move when I say, come. Do not let fear keep you standing in yesterday while I am calling you into tomorrow. Because your next home is not simply where you will live, it is where your purpose will finally begin to flourish. My beloved child, before you decide that staying where you are is the safer choice, I need you to understand something that many people never realize until years later. Not every place is meant to be your permanent home. Some places are classrooms. Some places are shelters. Some places are preparation grounds. And when their assignment is complete, remaining there can quietly become the greatest obstacle to your future. You have been asking me, Lord, why does everything feel different? Why have certain relationships become distant? Why do opportunities seem to disappear? Listen carefully. I am not removing your future. I am removing the things that cannot follow you into it. There are people who were assigned to one chapter of your life, not the entire story. There are places that were designed to strengthen your faith, but never to become your final destination. If you insist on staying where your season has already ended, you will continue praying for fruit from soil that has already finished producing. But I have something greater waiting. The home I'm leading you toward is more than a new address. It is an atmosphere that matches the person you are becoming. The air will feel different. The peace will feel different. Even your prayers will begin to feel different. Because where my presence leads, your purpose begins to awaken. Do not underestimate the power of a God-appointed environment. Many people believe success comes only from working harder, but sometimes the greatest breakthrough comes from standing in the right place. When I reposition my children, favor begins to recognize them. Doors begin to open naturally. Connections appear without force. The opportunities that once seemed impossible suddenly become normal, not because you became lucky, but because you finally arrived where I intended you to be. You have spent too much time blaming yourself. You thought something was wrong with you. You wondered why your gifts were overlooked, why your efforts went unnoticed, why your dreams seemed delayed. But my child, the problem was never the gift. The problem was the ground. A seed planted in the wrong soil struggles to grow, no matter how healthy it is. In the same way, even the greatest calling can feel invisible when it remains in an environment that was never designed to support it. That is why I'm moving you, not because I am dissatisfied with you, but because I refuse to let what I placed inside you remain buried. There are people waiting to meet you who will recognize your value immediately. They will see in minutes what others ignored for years. There are conversations waiting that will change your direction. There are opportunities waiting that will restore everything you thought you had lost. I have already gone ahead of you. Before you ever considered moving, I was preparing your arrival. I was opening hearts, aligning circumstances, moving obstacles that you cannot even see. Nothing catches me by surprise. Every detail has already been placed into position. Even the delays you experienced were protecting you. Had you moved too early, you would have arrived before the doors were ready. Had you stayed longer, you would have missed the season I prepared. My timing is never late. It is perfectly complete. Do not compare your journey with anyone else's. Some people are running toward places I never called them to. Others are remaining in places I already asked them to leave. Your assignment is different. Your path is different. Your destination is different. So keep your eyes on me, not on the opinions of people who cannot see what I have shown you. There will always be voices telling you to remain comfortable. There will always be fear whispering. What if everything falls apart? But hear my voice above every other voice. I am not leading you into loss. I am leading you into increase. I am not taking away your peace. I am taking you to the place where peace no longer depends on circumstances. This transition may require courage. It may require releasing old expectations. It may require saying goodbye to people, routines, and places that once felt familiar. But every release creates room for something greater. You cannot receive with closed hands. You cannot embrace your future while refusing to let go of your past. That is why I have been preparing your heart long before I changed your location. The relocation begins inside you, before it ever appears around you. When your thinking changes, your direction changes. When your faith grows, your future expands. And when you finally trust my voice more than your fear, you step into the life I prepared before the foundation of your journey. So do not fear what is ending. Look with expectation toward what is beginning. Because your next home is not simply another place to live. It is the place where hidden gifts will be uncovered, where long-awaited prayers will begin to receive answers, where new relationships will strengthen your faith, and where you will finally understand why I allowed every difficult season you have already survived. Everything has been leading to this moment. Everything has been preparing you for this move. And once you arrive, you will look back, not with regret, but with gratitude, because you will finally see that every closed door was guiding you toward the one I had already opened. My beloved child, when you finally reach the place I have prepared for you, something unexpected will happen. You will stop asking, "Why did I have to leave?" Instead, you will quietly whisper, "Lord, now I understand." Because what seems painful today will become one of the greatest testimonies of your life. Right now you are standing between two seasons. One season is ending, another has already begun. That space in between feels uncomfortable because you can no longer live in yesterday, but you have not yet fully stepped into tomorrow. Do not mistake this middle place for abandonment. This is holy ground. This is where trust is tested. This is where faith grows stronger than fear. Many people quit in this season because they believe nothing is happening, but heaven does its greatest work where human eyes cannot see. While you are waiting, I am arranging. While you are praying, I am preparing. While you are wondering, I am already opening doors ahead of you. My child, you have spent too much time believing that everything depends on your own strength. You thought you had to force every opportunity, convince every person, fight every battle, carry every burden. But this next chapter will teach you something different. When I open a door, no person can permanently close it. When I prepare a place, no enemy can take it away. And when I decide it is your time, nothing can delay what I have already spoken. This is why I have been asking you to rest in my promises instead of exhausting yourself trying to control every outcome. You are not responsible for creating the miracle. You are responsible for trusting the one who performs it. There is something waiting for you in your next home that cannot be delivered where you are now. It is not because I lack power. It is because purpose always grows in the environment prepared for it. Just as a seed cannot become a mighty tree without the right soil, your calling cannot reach its full potential in an atmosphere that keeps limiting your faith. Some of you have been wondering why certain friendships suddenly became distant, why familiar conversations feel empty, why you no longer fit into places where you once felt accepted. Listen carefully. I am separating you from what no longer agrees with your assignment. Not everyone is meant to walk into your next season. Some people celebrated your beginning, but they cannot understand your destination. Do not hate them. Do not fight them. Simply bless them. And keep walking, because where I am leading you requires lighter hands and a freer heart. You cannot carry yesterday's weight into tomorrow's blessing. Release every disappointment. Release every betrayal. Release every regret. None of those things belong in the house I have prepared for you. The place I am leading you carries peace, not temporary peace, but the kind of peace that remains even when life becomes uncertain. For too long you have lived surrounded by noise from fear, noise from opinions, noise from people who projected their own limitations onto your future. But where I am taking you, my voice will become clearer, your prayers will become deeper, your confidence will become stronger. You will wake each morning with a quiet assurance that you are finally standing where you belong. That feeling cannot be purchased. It can only be received through obedience. My beloved child, do not confuse comfort with calling. Many people remain in familiar places simply because they are afraid of change, but comfort has quietly stolen more destinies than failure ever has. I refuse to allow comfort to bury the purpose I placed inside you. That is why I keep stirring your spirit. That is why your heart refuses to settle. That is why you cannot ignore this message today, because this is not simply about moving houses. It is about moving into the life I planned before you ever took your first breath. There are blessings connected to locations. There are divine appointments connected to obedience. There are people assigned to encourage you, mentors assigned to guide you, and opportunities assigned to elevate you. But they cannot find you if you remain where your season has already ended. Sometimes the greatest act of faith is not speaking louder. It is taking the next step when you cannot yet see the entire staircase. That is exactly what I am asking you to do. Take one faithful step, then another, then another. I will not reveal the entire journey at once. If I did, faith would no longer be necessary. Instead, I will give you enough light for today's step, and tomorrow, I will give you light for the next one. This is how we walk together. not by sight, but by trust. One day you will stand inside the very home I promised you. You will remember every sleepless night, every unanswered prayer, every closed door, every painful goodbye, and tears will fill your eyes, not because of the pain, but because you will finally see how perfectly I was guiding every single detail. You will realize that what looked like rejection was actually redirection, what felt like delay was actually protection, and what seemed like loss was preparing you for a blessing too great to fit inside your old season. So lift your head, strengthen your heart, and keep moving forward, because the place I have prepared for you is no longer just a promise. It is becoming your reality. My beloved child, as this message comes to an end, I want you to remember one truth above everything else. Nothing you have experienced has been wasted. Not the tears, not the waiting, not the disappointments, not the nights you questioned whether I was still listening. I saw every moment. I counted every tear. And through every season, I was quietly leading you toward this very moment. The overall message throughout this journey has been that your relocation is purposeful and connected to the place I have prepared for you. There were days when you believed your life had stopped moving, but heaven never stopped working. Even when you saw nothing, I was building everything. Every closed door protected you from walking into the wrong future. Every delay gave me time to prepare the right opportunity. Every goodbye created room for the people I had already chosen to walk beside you. You called it confusion. I called it direction. You called it silence. I called it preparation. My child, the place I am leading you is not perfect because perfection does not exist on this earth, but it is the place where my purpose for your life will begin to unfold with greater clarity than ever before. When you arrive, you will discover a peace you have never known, not because every problem disappears, but because your heart will finally recognize that you are standing exactly where I intended you to be. The burden you have carried for so long will begin to lift. The anxiety that once stole your sleep will slowly lose its power. The fear that whispered, "What if nothing ever changes?" will be replaced by a quiet confidence that says, "God has never left me." And one morning, you will wake up, look around your new beginning, smile through grateful tears, and realize that I kept every promise I whispered to your heart. My beloved child, do not spend your future grieving what I already asked you to leave behind. There is nothing behind you that compares to what I have prepared ahead of you. Your old season taught you valuable lessons. Honor those lessons. But do not build your future inside yesterday's memories. Keep your eyes forward, because your next home is not simply where you will live. It is where your faith will become stronger, where your gifts will begin to flourish, where your purpose will become visible, where people will be blessed because you chose to obey my voice. Remember this, your relocation is bigger than you. The blessing I am bringing into your life will also become a blessing for others. Your testimony will strengthen someone who is about to give up. Your faith will inspire someone who feels hopeless. Your obedience today will become another person's encouragement tomorrow. That is why the enemy tried so hard to keep you afraid. Fear has always been his greatest weapon, because if he could convince you to stay, he could delay what I was preparing. But today, fear loses its authority. Today, faith rises higher. Today, you choose to believe my voice above every doubt. My child, when uncertainty tries to return, remember this promise. I will go before you. I will walk beside you, and I will remain behind you as your protection. You will never take one step alone. Every road I ask you to walk, I have already walked before you. Every door I ask you to enter, I have already prepared. Every blessing I have promised will arrive at the appointed time. So stop asking, "Lord, what if I fail?" Instead ask, "Lord, where are you leading me next?" Because the answer to that question will change everything. This is your season to trust. This is your season to move. This is your season to release the past. This is your season to receive the future. Do not allow hesitation to steal what obedience is about to unlock. The miracle is no longer far away. It is waiting on the other side of your faith. One day you will tell your story, and people will ask, "How did everything change so quickly?" You will smile, look toward heaven, and quietly answer, "Everything changed the moment I trusted God enough to move." Before this message ends, I want you to make one final declaration of faith. If you believe God is preparing a new beginning for your life, write in the comments, "Lord, I trust your direction. My miracle is waiting." And if this message has encouraged your heart today, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to The Final Calling, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the message God may have prepared specifically for you. Until our next message, may the Lord guide every step you take, fill your heart with unshakable peace, and lead you into the home, the purpose, and the miracle He has already prepared for you. Amen.